It is complete. Tell you what, throw a little hot rod red in there.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing. There's been speculation that I'm parading around as a superhero. I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
Hey guys, Adam here, and welcome to another On the Couch Rewind, and I am continuing Marvel Madness. First off, before I get started, I just want to let you know, my last video, Daredevil, I had shot a week ago. In case you hadn't noticed, I was not feeling well when I made that video. Because I was sick. I actually was sick. And as the days went by, I got worse. Like, a lot worse than I was before. Like, that day was nothing. As the days went on, I felt like I was on death's door. Quite literally, I felt like that. It was either a cold or pneumonia or something. So, hey, haha. So when I finally felt better, and all I got now is like drainage and a cough. Other than that, I'm fan-fucking-tastic. I feel great. Daredevil's up. Or Daredevil review's up, so you can go ahead and click on that and watch it if you want. Or better yet, watch the show and then watch my review. But enough of that now. Enough of my near-death experience where I punched, where I shoved my fist up death's ass. I'm here to talk about the movie that started this whole Marvel madness, Iron Man. Iron Man is one of those movies where you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, this was the make or break movie for Marvel. That a lot of people has skepticism over, and it paid off. So by this point, everyone knows the plot. Tony Stark is a billionaire weapons manufacturer. He's irresponsible. But he's smart. He's a douchebag, but everyone loves him. One day when he's in Afghanistan during a weapons demonstration, he is kidnapped by a terrorist group called the Ten Rings, where he is also severely wounded and he has a piece of shrapnel in his heart, so he has to save his own. So he has to build the arc reactor, miniature arc reactor, to save his life. And with the help of a fellow captive, he builds a suit of armor to break out. Well, when he comes back to the States, he decides to use his knowledge of building the armor, upgrade it, and become the invincible Iron Man in order to stop a potential corporate takeover by Obadiah Stane. And like I said, this movie would have been a make or break movie for Marvel, especially considering the year it came out in, which was 2008. I mean, yeah, it was the first movie to come out, but it could have been that movie that nobody went to go see, because this is a character that really no one outside of comic book fans knew. Iron Man wasn't nearly as popular as the X-Men or Spider-Man or any of them. Like I knew who Iron Man was when I was a kid. I did, mostly because of the 90s cartoon when it came out. I wasn't that familiar with Iron Man when he first or I wasn't that familiar with Iron Man in terms of the comics. But when I found out Iron Man was being made into a movie, I was intrigued. I wanted to know more. So I started researching. I read a couple of comics and I found them very engaging. But I still didn't know much. But when I saw this movie, I became an Iron Man fan. I did. Now, I mean, I'm not as big of an Iron Man fan as I am, say, Captain America or Spider-Man or even the Hulk, really. But I admire him. I think he's a good, flawed character, and it shows in this. It definitely does. So, the cast and characters. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He is Iron Man. There's no way when he leaves, there's no way in hell they're going to be able to replace him with somebody that can be on par with him. There's just no way. There's none. Like, when they casted Robert Downey Jr., they casted somebody that was going to leave a lasting impression. And here's a guy who had a lot of demons. A lot. He had drug problems, alcohol problems. He always got in trouble with the law. He had a very troubled, he had a successful career back in the 80s and 90s, but he was very troubled in the late 90s, early 2000s. And here he is in 2008 or 2006, 2007, cast as Iron Man, and people doubted him. People doubted him because of his past. Iron Man honestly is hands down the best redemption story you can come up with for someone like him, because Iron Man, Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. are exactly, in a way, are kindred spirits to one another. So yes, Robert Downey Jr. was perfect for this. He was perfectly cast. Jon Favreau did an excellent job saying, I want Robert Downey Jr. in this. And there were like a bunch of other actors that Marvel wanted because they didn't want Robert Downey Jr. because of his past. But Jon Favreau said, I want him because I know he can do it. When I see Tony Stark, I see Robert Downey Jr. Or when I see Robert Downey Jr., I see Tony Stark. And he's right. He was right on the money. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He is Tony Stark. He plays this character like he's a likable asshole, basically. He's funny. He's charismatic. He knows when to be serious. And when he does, he brings it. He really does. He brings that seriousness, those demons that Tony Stark has. Excuse me. And he brings it even more in the sequels, which I'll talk about later. Excuse me. And when he's also a good action lead. He is. I've seen him in other action movies, and here he does very well in terms of action, delivering action scenes, doing his own. Maybe not his own stunts, but he definitely does his own. He definitely does his best to present himself as an action lead. And Robert Downey Jr. is, Robert Downey Jr. has become one of the most recognizable actors ever right now. Like, there's not a single person I know who doesn't know who Robert Downey Jr. is. Or when I talk about Iron Man, people immediately go to Robert Downey Jr. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, because at least they know who Iron Man is now. Like, Robert Downey Jr. made sure Iron Man became a household name. It's not just because of the movie. It's because of him. He made Iron Man a household name. And I'm thankful for that, because Iron Man, among the rest of the Avengers, weren't as popular in Marvel's house. They weren't. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. I really am. Coke. It's not my Coke Zero, but it'll have to do. And now enough of that. Enough of Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, I'm gonna take this off. This little human in here. Terrence Howard as Rhodey, as James Rhodes, future War Machine. Nothing against Terrence Howard, honestly, nothing against him, but I feel like he's very severely miscast in this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, Terrence Howard is a great actor. He is. I've seen him in plenty of movies where he is awesome. Sabotage, I thought he was a lot of fun in. Hell, the new show Empire, the few episodes I've seen him in, he is a fucking intimidating motherfucker. He is. Here, I didn't feel like he was right for the part. He didn't feel like, I mean, the amount I know about War Machine is he's a no-nonsense kind of guy, and yeah, while he kind of shows it here, he doesn't, and he gives Tony lip. He never really feels like the kind of guy that's willing to stand up to his friend, to even his best friend, especially when his best friend does the antics that he does. And it really kind of hurts his performance in a way when he doesn't. Not to mention Terrence Howard, when he does that, he has that soft voice that he's known for, and for this kind of character, it doesn't work. He doesn't. I don't see him as an airman, as someone who's had a very long military career. I see him as a guy I see him like, I guess, like Elvis Presley when he went into the army. Just a smooth talker with the ladies. That's what I see. I don't see him with that. And when they casted Don Cheadle, well, I'll get into that when I review Iron Man 2. So yeah, just Terrence Howard, not a bad performance, but not great, not fitting with the rest of this film, or with the rest of, not on par with the rest of the cast. I just feel like he just wasn't right for the role. I mean, he didn't fit the character, basically. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. God damn, do I love her. I do. I love her a lot in this movie. I really do. She's just so much fun. And I know, like, right now it is popular to hate Gwyneth Paltrow personally. I don't get it. I mean, okay, I guess I do, but it's just one of those things is like, so what the fuck ever. There are worse people out there. But enough of that. Like, her performance in this, she is indeed Pepper Potts. She is, again, a no-nonsense woman. But she also, and she is willing to do everything for Tony, while at the same time not putting up with his shit. And when she's very loyal to him because despite everything that Tony has done in the past, she still sees deep down a good person, like a genuinely good person. She actually kind of brings that out, and Pepper is that character, and Gwyneth Paltrow does an excellent job portraying that. portraying someone who sees good in somebody despite his flaws. But she's also that kind of person that doesn't just fall for his charms. Even though it's very evident that she does have feelings for him, but Tony has feelings for her as well because of who she is. She is a genuinely good person, a very pure person, someone who is willing to stand up for the good of people, and also that she is capable of bringing the good out in him, which again you see later on in the sequels, which I'll get to soon. Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. When the only reason why you got cast in this, the only reason why you took this role is so you could shave your own head, I gotta give you props, man, because you are an intimidating motherfucker. Like, I mean, and I love Jeff Bridges. I do. Like, I have seen movies that he's been in, even bad movies. And he's never the worst thing about that movie. No matter what, Jeff Bridges is always enjoyable. And it's no different here because he is fucking enjoyable in this movie. I love Jeff Bridges in this movie. And he is he's definitely a guy that is jealous of not being able to keep the company, so he tries to kill Tony, and is very jealous that he will never be as smart as Tony, or as popular as Tony, or as rich as Tony. And that's what he wants. He wants all of that, and he's never gonna get it. So how does he try to get it? He's gonna kill Tony. That's it. And you know what? And you kind of understand why. I mean, he's still a very, very, I guess you could say, cartoony villain, but at the same time, you know he's not one to fuck with. You know he's still very sly, very sneaky in terms of things, which is why he was able to hide the fact that he's been behind this whole thing the whole time for so long, as long as he did. And he's also a pretty good adversary when he's the Ironmonger. Excuse me. He's very, I mean, he's intimidating, but also at the same time, you get a feeling that he and Tony once had a friendship. Like they had respect for one another. They had a very deep bond, especially since Obadiah Stane was also friends with his father, with Tony's father, and even business partners. And it's very evident that these two were friends, but that disappeared. But that all went away when Obadiah Stane obviously got jealous. And the chemistry between I mean, even though I said Terrence Howard is the weakest part, I have to say the chemistry between all the actors are really good. You genuinely believe that Pepper and Tony are in love. You genuinely believe that that Tony and Rhodey are friends. You also believe that that Tony and Obadiah were once friends but now enemies. You believe all this. It's very good chemistry. And alright, I'm back. The other cast, Sean Taub as Yinsen. Now, I know that in the comics, Yinsen is Vietnamese, I believe. Yes, Vietnamese. But here they changed it because of the time, so it's going to be Afghanistan. Makes sense. Still, Yinsen is a really good character. He's a character that really brings Tony, or sets Tony on the path of being a hero. He realizes that yes, Tony can do more than just, or he realizes Tony can do more than just build weapons, because he understands building weapons isn't always the best thing, because it will always cause destruction. And he realizes Tony can do more than this. He can be a hero. And Shanto really brings that. He really goes, look, I have seen shit. My town has been destroyed, my family murdered. You've got to do something. You cannot let this be your legacy. You've got to really, really put a stop to this. You've got to stand up and just not let this happen. And Tony realizes, yes, he's right. Even when Jensen dies, Tony realizes that this man gave up his life for him to have a second chance at life. And Tony doesn't try to waste that second chance. And Shanto Tao really does a good job at it. In terms of special effects are really good, especially for something that's an technically an independent film. Yeah, I mean, this is a studio that's independently funded. The Marvel studio had just officially started at this point. So, what was the first movie they decided to do? Iron Man. So they were going to have to do. Paramount helped them out, but other than that, they had to fund it themselves. They had to have the money themselves. And they did a really good job. They put effort into this because this was a project they really wanted to succeed. So they had to put effort into it. The visual effects look great. Like when Iron Man is flying in the air, you believe this guy is flying. The action's fantastic in this. It is. The suit is great, and a good chunk of it's also practical, which I really like. And of course, there are some things of the suit that wasn't, and of course they also had to do motion capture with the suit as well. But this suit, this is the suit when they show Iron Man like in his red and gold glory. You know this thing, that this is real. That this is happening. That this is Iron Man, and just the excitement you get when you see him on screen is a thing, really a thing of beauty. Honestly, it is. The Ironmonger suit, again, really good effects, and they also do practical, especially when the cockpit opens to show Jeff Bridges. They actually did practical effects with that, you believe these things are alive, that these things are moving. Well, of course they're moving, but they feel organic. They don't feel like they're just computer images on a screen. There's actual, in a way, perfection. I mean, by today's standards, it's not the best CGI. it's a little dated, but at the same time, you believe these. But it's still great compared to some of the other movies I've seen that came out that year with CGI. Like I said, the action scenes are great. My favorite scene is, of course, when after Iron Man takes out a 10 Rings hotspot, like the group of the 10 Rings, he takes them out, and then he gets chased by 2 F-22 Raptors, and he's avoiding them. That's my favorite scene. That's the scene they show in the trailers, but it's the scene they really like build up to going, yes. This is how you know you are watching a comic book movie. This is how you know we know what the fuck we're doing, and we're gonna give you the best comic book movies of all time. Like, we're here to let you have fun with these movies, and Marvel does a fantastic job with that. Jon Favreau gets Iron Man. He did a fantastic job directing this. He understands he knew where to put the humor, he knew where to put the drama, he knew where to put the action, and it all fits. It all fits perfectly. It doesn't feel like, oh, here's action, here's comedy, here's drama. No, it all flows organically here, and you can believe that. You can. So yeah, that's is that all I want to say about Iron Man? No, that's not what I want to say. All I want to say about Iron Man, because there's more about Iron Man. There are Easter eggs. Easter eggs I want to talk about. I forgot one other character, Phil Coulson. Why? Because he's just kind of there, but he's the one that introduces S.H.I.E.L.D. to us. So, and I'll talk more about Phil Coulson when I get to the later films. That he's much more prominent in, but Phil Coulson is definitely that presence of S.H.I.E.L.D. that you need. You don't need to go ahead and throw in Nick Fury like early on in the movie. You need to like build him up towards the end of the film, which they do, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Phil Coulson is definitely the S.H.I.E.L.D. presence that you needed to let you know, yes, we are building a shared universe. This isn't just like every other Marvel film where we want to make where it's just one movie and he's the only superhero that ever exists. No. We're building a shared universe. Iron Man is one part, is just one hero and out of many. And how are we going to connect it? We're going to put S.H.I.E.L.D. in it. Because that is the only way we're going to connect everything, is bring in S.H.I.E.L.D. And we're going to, and instead of just throwing Nick Fury in there, we're going to give you just this regular suit and tie agent. That's it. He's so unassuming. He's a very unassuming agent. He just looks like the guy he looks more like the guy, like the lawyer, or Nick Fury's lawyer, which he kind of is. But boy, I mean, and of course I've talked about Coulson in my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews. You know how much I love Coulson. But here, like when you first see him, honestly, I didn't really care for Coulson when I first saw him. I didn't. I just thought he was just kind of there. He was just there to bring in the presence of S.H.I.E.L.D. But after all the other movies, after Avengers, after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I have a much better appreciation for him because he is more than just the S.H.I.E.L.D. presence. He is a character. He is S.H.I.E.L.D. He's S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. So yeah, I am a fan of Coulson. I really am. Hell, my mom became a fan of Coulson when she went, oh look, it's the husband in New Adventures of Old Christine. I'm like, Really? That's where you remember him from? Huh. Of course, I know him as the... Actually, I didn't know him from anything else, to be honest. Yeah, and of course there were other Easter eggs. Of course, there was Captain America's shield in there. Well, not his shield, but like a prototype-looking thing. There was the Mandarin references with the 10 rings and whatnot. There was even a War Machine nod when Rhodey looks at the Mark II armor and just goes, "Next time, baby," and walks away. And of course there is the first post-credit scene, the scene that started the post-credit scenes. The movie that made me decide, oh, I'm gonna stay till the end of the credits of every single movie I ever fucking see. That's what I'm gonna do. That is so what I'm gonna do. So, as you all know, for the people that actually, and I'm gonna first off say this, you would think at this point people would, I mean, this is a tangent, but you would think people at this point would understand that when you go see a Marvel Studios film, there's going to be a post-credit scene. Why do people continue to leave the theater not knowing about the scene? Because it could be something revealing. It could be something that tells us something about the next movie. And yet I still see people walk out of the theater not expecting a post-credit scene. Now, I kind of understand. No one saw it coming. No one knew it was going to happen. I didn't know. I mean, but I still stayed. Because who knows? I mean, I've seen post-credit scenes before, so who knows? Maybe I could have been surprised. But now that it's become a staple, you can't really. You don't leave. It could be something interesting. But as I was saying, I digress. This post-credit scene is very meta, I should say, because it's not just Nick Fury being introduced. It's Nick Fury introducing us to the shared universe, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is Nick Fury saying, guess what, motherfuckers? This shit's happening. And I'm saying it does. That's what he's doing. He's basically telling us, the audience, he's not just telling Tony, he's basically telling us, this is real. What I am telling you is happening. This isn't a dream. This isn't some prank. This is happening. As long as you pay us money, and we will be able to continue to make this happen. And it's happening. It's happened. I will review the other movies because it's happened. I mean, he basically says, you think you're the only superhero in the world? You become part of a bigger universe, you just don't know it yet. He wasn't just talking to Tony, he was talking to us. He was talking to us, letting us know, no, this is not the only movie you're gonna see. There will be more. And there was. Especially in the same year. So, I'm going to go ahead and give my final score, which is, I give Iron Man a 9 out of 10. I love this movie. I continue to watch it all the time. I've probably now watched it more times than I watched the Dark Knight, or even Star Wars, to be honest. And I love Star Wars. I do. But this movie, I love this movie. This is the start of an era This is cinema. I mean, this is basically cinematic history in the making. Like, this is a movie that's meant to last, and I was so glad to be there when it happened in theaters. Like, I mean, I didn't see it. Did I see it opening night? I don't think I saw it opening. I didn't see it opening night, but I definitely saw it in theaters. Like, I think I may have seen it like a week afterwards. So, but I made sure I kept away from any reviews or spoilers or anything like that, because I really want to see it. And I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw it on my birthday. And ever since then, it has become a tradition for me to see all these movies on opening night. Same thing with the upcoming Avengers. I have never missed a single Marvel Cinematic movie, ever. I haven't. I've always made sure I never miss it. I mean, hell, the TV shows I don't miss. I made damn sure I wasn't gonna miss Daredevil. I mean, even if I didn't get a Netflix account, I was gonna find a way to watch it. I was gonna give you a review, and I did. So, yeah, I love this movie. I do. I really do. I mean, I own, as of now, every Marvel Cinematic Universe film out there. I do. I own every single one of them. And I'm probably gonna get the TV shows as well on Blu-ray. I'm definitely getting Agent Carter on Blu-ray. I might get season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Blu-ray, and I sure as hell am going to get Daredevil on Blu-ray. Oh yeah. Daredevil is going to be a must-have. So yeah. With that said, I'm done with talking about Iron Man. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Incredible Hulk, which, depending on how you view that film, you may be surprised by what I got to say about it. Because this is definitely a film that is a little more. It's something very, very different for me. But I will talk about that next time. Also, quick updates. What I will do with the shows right now, we are currently we currently have the last 2 episodes of Gotham coming up. I just watched the 3rd to last episode. What I will do with those final 4 episodes really is I will do, since it's like a 4-parter, I will do I'll just do kind of a recap of those. I will go ahead and try and get The Flash. I've missed a couple of weeks, so what I will do with those is just rewatch those and then do a recap of those. And same thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm gonna get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. out of the way as well. Maybe not tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday. I will definitely get those started. God, what I'm thinking. But I probably won't do those until after I get the rest of the Marvel movies out of the way, because I got to get those out of the way first. So until then, I will see you guys next time with the Incredible Hulk. So you all have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye.